St. Lucie Public Schools, with the assistance of the Roundtable of St. Lucie County, is a Kids at Hope district where we believe that all children are capable of success, no exceptions. Hello, and welcome to The Power of Hope. The Power of Hope is a show dedicated at discussing Kids at Hope in St. Lucie County. Kids at Hope is an international initiative brought to the area by the Roundtable of St. Lucie County and funded by the United Way, the Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County, and the Roy A. Hunt Foundation. Kids at Hope is not a program. It is a strategic cultural framework based on three basic principles and beliefs. We believe, we connect, and we time travel. I am treasure hunter Jared Stevens, Kids at Hope School Community Liaison, as well as your host for the show, and I would like to thank you for tuning in with us for today's episode of The Power of Hope. We encourage you to join in every show this season as we discuss building a culture of hope to ensure that all children are capable of success, no exceptions. Now you may be asking yourself, why did he refer to himself as a treasure hunter? Well, as an adult and a treasure hunter, I am committed to search for all the talents, skills, and intelligence that exist in all children and youth. I believe that all children are capable of success, no exceptions. Kids at Hope has three universal truths. Universal truth number one states that children succeed when they are surrounded by adults who believe they can succeed. Universal two states that children succeed when they have meaningful and sustainable relationships with caring adults. And universal truth number three states that children succeed when they can articulate their future. We are fortunate to have with us today a young man who is definitely a kid at hope. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Terrence McQueen. Terrence, thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Stevens.
You're welcome. Now, today, Terrence and I will be discussing what it means to him to be a kid at hope and how Kids at Hope beliefs and practices has influenced him and has helped him to become the successful young man that he is today. Now, Terrence, could you please let our audience know your age, your grade, and what school you attend?
I'm a senior. I'm 17 years old, and I attend Fort Pierce Central High School. Okay,
wonderful. Now, I know you are extremely involved. Can you give our viewers an idea of some of the things that you're involved in?
Currently student government president at Fort Pierce Central High School. I am chaplain of St. Lucie County Upward Bound. I'm chaplain of Lamplighter's Youth Group sponsored by Omega Psi Phi. I'm a member of the Avenue Du Bois Choir. I'm a member of the Peer Review Council of the Fort Pierce Police Department, and I recently served as the regional chaplain of the Florida Association of Education Opportunity Program Personnel.
Whew! That's a lot of stuff, Terrence. I don't know how you find enough minutes or hours in a day to get all that accomplished. Now, you are extremely interesting and you are extremely involved, as you just stated. But I'm not sure that without the assistance of certain adults in your life that you could possibly be as involved as you are. Kids at Hope universal truth number one, as I previously stated, is that children succeed when they are surrounded by adults who believe they can succeed. Now, can you explain to our audience what do you feel is the importance of having adults take the initiative to show the youth that they care and to give the youth opportunities for success?
Adults basically provide violence. They provide guidance for the youth today. Adults are basically the people that move us along our path of success, and they show us the way, and they instill in us the values that we need to become successful today.
Guidance, not violence, right?
Guidance, not violence.
It's all right. Now, as previously stated, you are very involved in the school and in the community. Mm-hmm. Can you give us some of the adults that are influential in your life?
Yes, my parents, my mother and my father. My father was actually the one who got me the chance or pushed me to speak my first sermon at the age of 8 years old. I was nervous. I didn't want to do it. I convinced him that I'm not the one. I'm not ready. But he basically said, son, you can do this. And he pushed me to that point today. So that's the reason I am where I am and who I am. My kindergarten teacher, Miss Ellis, my first grade teacher, they basically believed in my ability to be successful. I was always the kid who talked in class. I'm actually up right now for the senior superlative of most talkative. I was always the one who talked. I always got in trouble for talking. Some teachers rejected it. Other teachers saw it as a gift. But Miss Ellis and my first grade teacher, Miss Morgan, or Miss Grant at the time, they believed in me and they allowed me to work my gift. Okay, and that's great. Now, when you and I were speaking, you also mentioned a police officer that was influential in your life. Yes, sir. Officer Danny. I met her when I joined the Avenue D Boys Choir in 2009. Officer Danny basically saw me, she believed in me, and she kind of clung to me and said, I need you. You're the person I'm looking for. I'd like you to join the Peer Review Council of Fort Pierce Police Department. So all police aren't bad, huh? No, they're not. They're not. They're actually out here to help us. Okay, now, universal truth number 2 states that children succeed when they have meaningful and sustainable relationships with caring adults. The first person that you mentioned was your father. Yes. I know that your parents are very involved in your life and they give you a lot of guidance. In Kids at Hope, we refer to our relationships as ACEs. So with your parents being your ace of heart or your anchor parent. But not only did you mention your parents, but you also mentioned other caring adults in your life, which we refer to as aces of clubs. Now, these other caring adults in your life, they show you that they care by having high expectations for you and believing in you sometimes when you don't believe in yourself. And not only do they have those high expectations for you, but they give you opportunities for success, which we refer to as our Aces of Diamonds. Now, as you know, February is Black History Month. Yes. Who are some African Americans locally that have influenced your life? First of all, of course, my mother, my father, Mr. Williams, Harry Belafonte Williams, Mr. Johnson, Roderick Johnson, the dean at Fort Pierce Central High School, Dr. Samuel Gaines, his son, Mr. Arnold Gaines, Miss Lisa Stewart, Miss Gaskin, Dr. Hendricks, Mrs. Hendricks, Miss Townsend, Miss Collins, Miss Burnett. There's so many locally influential African Americans that have imparted in me. Okay, and that's great that you have that many people that you have connected with here in your local community. Now, on a national or historical level, are there any African Americans who have influenced you with their story, where it has motivated you to do something or make you believe in yourself? Yes, sir, most definitely. I think about Harriet Tubman, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I think about Nelson Mandela, I think about Frederick Douglass. And I thought about that because I was taking the ACT, and Frederick Douglass quoted, where there is no struggle, there is no progress. And I thought about Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Frederick Douglass. They acknowledged the fact that there's a struggle, and the struggle motivated them to allow us to progress as African Americans. And a lot of times we try to hide from the struggle, we try to run away from the struggle, but if we accept the struggle and push past the struggle, we see progress. So the struggle kind of helps us overcome. And that's great. That's great that you are able to be influenced by them and that you embrace that. Now, it is Black History Month, and it is very important for all people to learn the contribution that our people have had on society locally, not only in our country, but around the world. But with that being said, it's important that our viewers understand that some of the influential people that you mentioned when I first asked you who influenced you are not the same race as you. Right, right. The great thing about that is that when it comes to helping a child or helping the youth or helping anyone other than yourself in general, it's important that people shouldn't use race as a determining factor. Everyone must embrace equality. So with that being said, when it's come time to help somebody, or through Kids at Hope, when it's time to help a child or to help the youth, it's not about looking over race, it's about not seeing race. Exactly. Now, universal truth number 3 states that children succeed when they can articulate their future. Research shows that the most well-rounded people do more than just go to school or go to work.
And obviously, you do way more than just go to school. Do you have any hobbies that you can tell us about?
Yes, sir. I love to act. It's been my passion since the 3rd grade. I loved singing ever since me and my brother started a little singing group. And I've always had a love for music. I actually play the piano. I started out on the drums, and I played the trumpet. I played the trumpet in middle school.
Okay, so you're like a one-man band, plus your brother.
Right, there you go. There you go.
Okay, now are you given the opportunity to utilize those talents what you have as hobbies outside of your home?
Yes, sir. Like I said, I love to act, and Fort Pierce Central High School is putting on a musical, Little Shop of Horrors, March 7th and 8th. A show at 7 o'clock and also a show at 2 o'clock. Tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for students.
Okay, that's great. So I know as involved as you are in the community and in school, but you have found a way to merge, you have found a way to find an opportunity for the community and schools to unite through a community service that you're a part of.
Yes, sir.
Could you please tell the audience about Shoes for a Cure?
Yes, sir. Shoes for a Cure is a project that I accepted about maybe a month ago, and I love the project because we're bringing in worn out shoes, new shoes, old shoes, shoes you don't want, or shoes you may probably didn't think that were hiding in your closet. And the reason I did that was for community empowerment. Community empowerment. I want to bring churches together, businesses together, schools together, families together, no matter what race you are, what color you are, your size, your height. I just need everybody to bring in shoes because we're trying to cure the environment. Facts state that when shoes go unwanted or unused, they fill up our landfills and they dirty up our landfills. So we're trying to use the material for the shoes to build more shoes or use that material that they're using for other things.
Okay, that's great. So where can people take those shoes?
There's actually 3 drops off at Fort Pierce Central High School, 3 at Indian River State College. There's one at Allapattah Flats, and there's also one at Village Green Elementary School for Environmental Studies.
Man, that's great. You're affecting not only your local community where you're from, but the schools as well. So that's a great thing that you're a part of that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So now let me ask you this. With that being said, why are you feeling you're already so consumed schedule with a community service project?
I have a passion to serve my community, not just my school, but because I want to be a big part of my community. I want to have an impact. I want to leave something. I want to leave my mark. I want to leave my mark.
Now, with the many different things that you're a part of or involved with, many of these things could turn into possible careers as you further yourself in life. You have been fortunate to have many aces of clubs in your life that have exposed you to different opportunities, clubs, activities, groups, and so on and so forth. And you are a very well-rounded, educated young man. Have you had an opportunity up until this point in your life to figure out what career you'd be interested in?
Yes, sir. I want to go into biology to become a neurosurgeon.
A neurosurgeon.
Yes, sir.
In biology.
Yes, sir.
Now, nothing up until this point in our conversation leads me to understand why you would want to go into biology or be a neurosurgeon. Can you explain where that came from?
Yes, sir. When I was in middle school, I believe I was in the 6th or 7th grade, one of my mother's friends, she passed away from a sudden brain aneurysm, and they gave her 72 hours to live, but she only lived for about 48. And that really attracted me to the way the brain works, the way it moves, and the way the neurons cooperate and function properly. So I want to find a cure for brain cancer and brain tumors. I will find a cure for brain cancer and brain tumors.
That's great. Now, I also know that you are a minister.
Yes, sir.
And you said you preached your first sermon at the age of 8, correct?
Yes, sir.
The one that you felt like you weren't ready for, but your father believed in you more than you believed in yourself and gave you that little extra push.
Yes, sir.
To go ahead and perform.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, do you have ministry? Do you see ministry in your future as you become an adult?
Yes, sir. Once I receive my bachelor's in biology, I plan to go back to school for theology, divinity, and religious studies.
Very good. Now, it sounds to me like you're going to have a very successful yet very busy life as you grow from being a young man into a man and living on your own. What would you like your future home or family to look like?
I've thought about that, and I made up in my mind when I was in the 6th grade that I didn't want any kids. I really don't have a particular reason for that, but I don't want kids. I want to get married. I'd like to get married. And then I want to travel the world. I don't want to stay in one particular place. I want to impact the world by traveling through the world and leaving my mark. Like I said, my biggest thing, I want to leave my mark. I want to be remembered for something big.
Now, when you said you want to travel the world, there is a particular place where you told me you envisioned yourself getting married. Can you let our viewers know about that?
Yes, sir. My dream is to get married under the Eiffel Tower. I don't know if it's possible, but I want to get married under the Eiffel Tower.
And that's great, and I hope that happens for you one day.
Thank you.
So, you say you are a kid at Hope.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the Kids at Hope pledge?
Yes, sir. I am a kid at Hope. I'm talented, smart, and capable of success. I have dreams for the future, and I will climb to reach those goals and dreams every day because all children are capable of success, no exception.
And that's like music to my ears. Now, how do you know that you are talented?
I participate in the Avenue D Boys Choir, drama at my school. So those are the opportunities that I get to showcase my talents.
Okay, and how do you know that you're smart?
I'm smart because my academics prove it. I'm actually currently, finally 66 out of 538. I have a weighted GPA of a 4.0, and I'm also student council president at my school.
Now, for our audience that might not understand 66 out of 538, what does that mean?
That means I'm ranked in the top 15% of my class.
And that comes with a lot of work.
A lot of work, sleepless nights, staying up till 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m. If you want it bad enough, you'll work for it. And I've worked for it, so I believe I've earned that right.
So has there been nights when you just didn't feel like staying up? And
sir.
Who would be that extra person, or whose message or whose voice would you hear in your head to get you back focused?
My dad. You can do it, son. Don't stop. You can do it. You can go. You got to push yourself. And so I pushed myself.
So your dad has very high expectations for you?
Yes. Well, actually, everyone who's pretty much pushed me, every adult, even my friends, and plus, if I don't have it myself, then it means nothing. So I've had to push myself along with the support of others behind me, because if you don't believe you can do it, then, I mean, it's purposeless.
Now, how do you know that you're capable of success?
I'm capable of success because I have all this money and nowhere to go. I'm actually the 2013 Comcast Leaders and Achievers Scholarship recipient of $1,000. I'm the Horatio Alger State Award Scholar of $6,000. St. Lucie County Facilities and Maintenance of $500. So, and I'm also currently the Young Floridian Scholarship candidate for my school in the Human Services category. So I'm given all of these leeways to achieve success. All these ways to achieve success.
Now, it's important for kids to, and for young adults to say the Kids at Hope pledge for affirmation of the facts that they are talented, smart, and capable of success, and so they remind themselves that they do have dreams for the future and they will climb to reach those goals and dreams every day. But it's equally as important for the youth to have an opportunity to display, utilize, or expose those talent, skills, and intelligence. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but for opportunities for those successes to be celebrated. Now, what opportunities for success are you given in your school environment?
I'm in my school environment. By being student government president, I've been able to be the project manager for so many community service projects. I was asked by Dr. Washington, Ms. Goodman, and Ms. Montenegro, which are the principals at Dan McCarty School. They've allowed me to go into their school and be the keynote speaker for their first honor roll assemblies. And that was awesome for me. I was able to empower the 6th, 7th, 8th graders on the ABCs of success, and it was amazing. And I actually gave them prizes after the presentation because I did some questionnaires, and it was pretty exciting. It was pretty exciting.
ABCs of success. Now,
yes,
I might be putting you on the spot, but can you give us just a short description of what the ABCs of success are?
Yes, sir. To me, the ABCs of success are attitude, character, commitment. I skipped B. Attitude, B is for believe and behavior, and C is for character and commitment.
Okay. Attitude. Now, how much does attitude play in the role of success?
Your attitude determines how far you'll go in life. A lot of people don't believe it, but negativity really gets you nowhere, and positivity sets you above the rest. Attitude, dealing with Mondays. No one likes Mondays, but if you attack Monday with positivity and a positive attitude, you'll get through Monday. Better than someone who has a negative attitude about Monday.
And what about behavior?
Behavior goes a long way. It really does go a long way. I remember I actually got spit on in the 4th grade, or I was in the 5th grade, and everyone thought I would have reacted a different way because of my skin color, or that's just, I mean, you don't let anyone spit on you. And what I calmly did was I breathed it in, breathed it out, and I wiped it off with my face. So behavior gets you a long way. If I would have acted out, I probably would not have been here. If I would have gotten a fight over that situation, I wouldn't have been here. I really wouldn't have been here.
So it's kind of like from that experience that you're speaking of, and thinking back to a question that I asked you previously about influential African Americans historically, you kind of took the Martin Luther King approach and turned the other cheek.
Yes, yes. I really had no other option. My character was on the line. My character was on the line.
Okay, great. Now you went right into it. Now your character. Give us a little bit about how your character influences your success.
Character as in integrity, responsibility, leadership. Integrity, always telling the truth, being a man of your word. I have so many people that are around me to encourage me and tell me to do what you said you were going to do. If you're not a man of your word, no one will believe anything that you have to say. I said responsibility. You have to be responsible. Take care of what you have to take care of. Integrity, responsibility, dependability. Can I depend on you for something? Those are characteristics that influence success.
Okay, and that's great. And I'm sure that the students of Dan McCarty received your message. Obviously, whenever you talk to a group of people, everyone in the crowd is not going to receive your message.
Right.
But if your message, which sounds to be like a powerful one, was able to touch at least one student in that crowd, then you did your job.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, what about opportunities for success you've been given in the community?
In the community, like I said, I am a minister. February 3rd, 2013, I was ordained, so I celebrated a year. Woo! I was actually able to go minister for a youth service at St. Matthew's Missionary Baptist Church last Sunday. I will also be at 13th Street Church of God on March 30th. So I'm allowed to express my talents in the community through ministry, through Avenue D Boys Choir, through peer review. Just a lot of organizations have allowed me the opportunity to express myself and be successful.
Now, you said just last week you did a sermon.
Yes, sir.
And what was the topic?
The title of my sermon was Stay in the Race.
Stay in the race.
Yes, sir.
Now, without getting too in-depth in it, what do you mean when you say staying in the race?
Even though you have other options, you may want to give up. You can give up. It's so easy to give up, but you have to stay in the race. You're about this close. This is the starting line. This is the finish point. It's a long way, but you have to commit, and you have to have hope to get to the finish line. So no matter what obstacles, no matter what things are trying to hold you back, no matter what's going against your course of the race, you have to be committed and stay in the race.
So you related race as life?
Race as life. I looked in the dictionary, and race said it's a course of life. Okay,
good. Very good. And now you also said you perform with the Avenue D's choir.
Yes, sir, with the Avenue D Boys Choir. I've joined in 2009, and currently we're celebrating 10 years, and we're in the process of having a summer tour to celebrate our 10 years and thank the community and thank different parts of Florida for allowing us to come and display our talents.
And that's great. Now, what section of the choir do you sing in?
I'm a tenor, but I'm actually a bass.
You're a tenor, but you're
yes.
actually a bass.
I'm a tenor, but I'm actually a bass.
Okay.
Don't ask me to sing. Please don't.
I'm not going to ask you to sing. Okay, so earlier in the show, you said one of the quotes that motivate you was from Frederick Douglass, "Without struggle, there's no progress."
Yes, sir.
What are some of the struggles? I know that you and I spoke about it when you were at the Academic Success Network.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned a couple struggles that you had to go through in your life, but through those struggles, you remain knowing that you were talented, smart, and capable of success.
Yes, sir.
Could you tell us some of those struggles?
Yes, sir. Transitioning from Village Green Elementary to Dan McCarty, I faced bullying, a little bit of racism, and those two constitute to low self-esteem. So those are some of the things that I had to deal with within myself. But I remember when I took the KAH Hope class, it constantly reminded me that I was talented, smart, and capable of success. Regardless of the bullying, regardless of the racism issues, I conquered those issues, and that's why I'm here today.
Now, you also stated some health concerns.
Yes, sir. My life has a purpose. I knew my life had a purpose because I was born at 2 pounds, 2 ounces, legally blind in my left eye, so I was about probably this small. And those were some things I had to overcome. I constantly get asked, are you looking at me? Which way should I go? And are you going this way? Are you going that way? The name calling, the belittling, it really didn't, it hurts. And it probably still does hurt, but again, I'm talented, smart, and capable of success, so I'm going to stay in the race because those things aren't, they're meaningful. But I can overcome them. I can overcome them.
You will overcome them because you're staying in the race.
Yes, sir, and I'm talented, smart, and capable of success.
And you will finish the race.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of any obstacles that come in your way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm committed.
Okay, now with that being said, I guess the most important question that I want to ask you today is, what does it mean to you to be a kid at Hope?
It means through all adversities, through anything you're going to face in your life, through the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, you can still overcome all of those situations because you have hope. If you know that you're talented, smart, and capable of success, you can do anything. You really can do anything.
Now, with that being said, you told me that there is a scripture that always sticks out in your mind.
Yes, sir. Something that I live by is 1 Timothy 4:12, and it says, don't let anyone look down on you, or let no man despise thy youth, or don't let anyone think less of you because you're young, but set an example for the believers in the way that you live, in the way that you love, in the way that you act, in your faith, in your purity, and in your speech. And to me, that means that just because I'm young, that doesn't mean that I'm not capable of doing my best. It doesn't mean that I'm not capable of promoting success. It does not mean that I'm not powerful because I'm young.
So at the end of the scripture, it says, be an example. What example do you want to be?
I want to be an example of hope. I want to be an example of hope, and where there's hope, there's faith. And so when I think about hope, hope is basically, that's all you need to make it out. And when people look at me, I want them to say, well, he made it out, I can overcome. He had all these challenges, but he made it out. He's successful. I want to be that image of hope, you know, that little ounce that keeps you holding on. That's what I want to be.
Well, Terrence, I would definitely like to thank you for joining me on today's episode of The Power of Hope. You have a great story. I know you are influencing a lot of your peers, and you may not even know it. You're influencing a lot of younger children than yourselves with your different speaking engagements that you're doing, and you are a walking example, and you are an example of hope. So again, I would like to thank you for joining us on today's episode of The Power of Hope.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Do you have any final comments?
I encourage everyone to basically think that you can, you must, and you will. And that's called Operation Success. I adopted that from my friends at Love Center Church, Melbourne. The pastors are Gary Salter, Genevieve Salter, Pastor Tammy Salter. It's I can, I must, and I will. That's Operation Success. So if you think you can, you will, and then you must. It has to happen.
That's great. Now, I want to encourage our viewers to participate in Shoes for the Cure. You have drop-off locations at Fort Pierce Central High School, Alapata Flats, and you have locations also coming soon at Indian River State College. And remember, hope keeps motivation alive longer than anything else. Having optimism permits evolution, and all children are capable of success, no exceptions. I'm your host, treasure hunter Jared Stevens, Kids at Hope School Community Liaison. I would like to thank you for joining us on today's episode of The Power of Hope, and have a blessed day.